story is called The Dead Fiddler, and it's by Isaac Bashevis Singer, and it came from a collection of short stories I read. They were written in I think the 1950s in New York, translated from the Yiddish. Bashevis Singer wrote in Yiddish, came over to New York I think in 1935. These stories were originally published I think in the New Yorker. I just saw these stories and I thought I really want to know about life in those Shtetl communities, the kind of rural village communities in Poland. It's where my family came from 2 generations back, and I was just curious. And then I got excited when I saw what it was about, and it was about a fiddler, and so that obviously meant that the music would be Klezmer music, which I love. And then I noticed that it was about dybbuk, which it was a new thing to me. These are spirits, lost spirits of the dead, wandering around, looking for a home, often hiding from avenging angels, and they'll hide in anything, in the cracks in the walls, or the hinges of the doors, or in a human being. And in this case, the spirit possesses a young girl.
I'm not going to faint. Fetch me a drop of vodka. Ah, good awakening to you, Reb Shtetl.
Bring me a schnapps, or a sliverwich, anything
as long as I wet my whistle.
We knew at once.
Of course. A dybbuk had entered Lise Yentl.
And this spirit absolutely captivates the entire community because he's so outrageous and he's very funny and he exposes all the hypocrisies within the community. And the story is about his relationship to the community, but also his relationship with the authorities, the religious authorities, who try and get rid of them by attempting various exorcisms, and also the girl's parents, who are traumatized at the sight of this girl becoming destroyed by this evil force.
Is that all? Oi, Chaim, bring me the bottle.
No, don't give it to her, she'll poison herself, don't help her.
Don't worry.
And it's also about the way in which the community has a struggle between something that's very attractive, which is to abandon the confines of religious observance and so on, which is what he's offering, on the one hand, but on the other hand, by doing that, they threaten their own identity and start to lose the very thing that defines them.
By flesh and bone, I could lie
with our sweet body for a day and a night without sleeping a wink.
And he shouted ribaldries and obscenities both in Yiddish and in his own musician slang.
Oh, for God's sake, don't make me wait, Caesar dear. Bring me a cup of cheer. My guts are screaming for it.
Good people, help!
The story becomes complicated because he's not the only dybbuk in the story. There's another one who appears, and this time it's a dead prostitute.
I'm stuck inside a turtle for ages. I tell you, this girl is...
And what happens is these two spirits wage war with each other, really, because they feel that they should be the only one in there, and this sort of verbal joust becomes the source of great entertainment for the community until someone actually pipes up, hang on, you two seem perfectly suited, why don't you get married?
Right.
Oh, good Rabbi Getzel, you forget. I have long since paid for my sins. I'm surely as pure as any virgin.
In our attempts to find a theatre vocabulary to represent all these magical elements, we had to use kind of stage metaphor. We had to ask an audience to kind of join in. So we're creating an imaginative event rather than simply representing literally what he's written.
You slut. Out with you!
I'll go when I decide.
And that's one of the joys of theatre, I think. You know, when I go to the Globe, that's what's happening all the time, that we piece out what's imperfect on stage, and we're kind of doing it as a collective experience, which is part of the beauty of theatre making. I think the other thing that's great about it is that it's full of live music. that the music isn't just there to literally represent the tunes that the fiddler plays. The music is there to conjure these magical elements, to represent the secret inner lives of the characters as well. So through theatre, we're offering insights that wouldn't necessarily be immediately apparent on the page of the original story. The story itself is about piety and sacredness in opposition to something that's profane and sacrilegious. And that is, of course, encapsulated in the music itself, that it comes from those two traditions. It originated in the devotional chants of the Chazan in the synagogue. It also borrowed from the peasant dances of Eastern Europe and Russia, and then it combines those two in the melodies and dances that are Klezmer music. So it's an ideal form to express the drama that's at the centre of the story. We developed music with Roddy Skeeping, who is the arranger and fiddle player in the Burning Bush, who are one of Britain's leading Jewish music ensembles. He's also written music for theatre. I've worked with him before for other theatre pieces, and he's worked at the National and the Globe as well. So he has a fantastic understanding of the musical idiom, but also of how music can be used in interaction with drama. In a community like this, where religious propriety restricts what people can show as far as their kind of secret emotional life is concerned, we realised that music could reveal those inner traumas or secret desires and so on. So we had various sections where that could happen. There is one where the girl's mother is absolutely distraught as she sees her girl being destroyed. She is doing her very best to keep a brave face on this and to try and hold the family together. But there's a little private moment where we gave her a musical sequence that was designed to reveal these secret agonies. Eventually, he forces the community to face things that they wouldn't dare face at all. So they're forced to confront the fact that he exists, that his kind exists, that there are such things as prostitutes, there are low-life characters in these communities or in city communities like Warsaw. So he makes them confront that, so it's like the voice of the oppressed is expressed through him.
These are voices of pain. You see? You there, Klezmer, never lived! Now you listen to me, you goyish schmiggeget. My name is Shtetl, from the town of Pinchas. I lived! You hear me? I had a wife who nagged and yelled at me. I made money from my music. I stole money. I lay with women. I lived a life. You hear?
It also makes the girl's father realise that you can't just fight these forces, cannot simply use the reflex action of a religious fundamentalist. He has to think outside that. He has to think in a humanist way towards these spirits.
Don't you swear! Such an oath is a desecration of the name.
Swear, my husband, swear if you don't, we shall all perish.
I swear that I will faithfully fulfill all that I take upon myself.
Withdraw that promise!
I will study the Mishnah for you. I will say Kaddish for you for 12 months.
Apostate!
I will burn memorial candles for you.
You shall be excommunicated
No!
now!
If there are no headstones on your graves, I will make the journey and have them set.
You can enjoy this in so many different ways, that sometimes it's just an exciting ghost story, and sometimes it's just a heartbreaking moment about someone's suffering, but because it's expressed through music, you get a kind of you get something very beautiful rather than just the kind of straightforward heartbreak of something more naturalistic. On other occasions, it's about humour and about anarchy and about festivity. On other occasions, it's just the joy of spectacle because there's song and dance and that kind of physical energy. We staged this at the New End Theatre in Hampstead in 2006. It went down really well, it got great reviews, but the size of the space, I think, restricted us. To represent a community like this and all these forces, you need a bit of space, and you need space to represent that kind of physical vocabulary. And so I want to restage it in a larger arena. I also think that we should redevelop this because there are elements in the story that are unrealised. There's a wonderful section in the original story at the end where the girl is left after the spirits have departed and she's locked in a closet and they're terrified that she's dead, but they know she's in there, so they open the closet and they're just confronted with a cloud of moths that float away out of the closet as though her spirit is now departing forever. And that's a beautifully magical moment that I want to reinvestigate in a restaging.